Why do some seniors fade while others flourish? It's not just luck. And it's not only genes. Some people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s seem to glow with life. Others, just as bright once, slowly dim. What? More often than we realize, the answer lies in quiet patterns, small habits, unspoken attitudes, and subtle daily choices. Things that accumulate quietly over the years, until they shape how we live, and how long. This video isn't about rare diseases or sudden accidents. It's about 6 real, recognizable signs that often predict whether someone will thrive or merely survive in later life. These aren't meant to scare. They're meant to awaken. Because even now, it's rarely too late to notice, and to choose differently. So stay with me. These 6 insights might just help you, or someone you love, step into more life, not less. Number 1. Emotional isolation. Feeling alone in a crowded room. As we grow older, one of the quietest dangers we face isn't visible from the outside. It's emotional isolation, the feeling of being unseen, unheard, or untouched, even in the presence of others. It's not about how many people are around. It's about whether your heart still feels connected. After 70, it becomes easier, almost natural, to slowly retreat. Friends move, loved ones pass, energy fades. And without meaning to, we stop picking up the phone, stop reaching out, stop sharing our inner world. And when that silence settles, the body notices deeply. Science tells us that chronic emotional loneliness can raise the risk of death by nearly 30%. That's not a minor detail, it's a signal from the very core of our nervous system. Without emotional connection, stress hormones linger, sleep suffers, immunity declines. Even the will to care for oneself can begin to fade. Albert, 86, lost his wife and slowly withdrew from life. "It's just easier this way," he said. No calls. No birthdays. No small talk. Within months, the spark in his eyes dimmed. Meals were skipped. Movement slowed. It wasn't just grief, it was the slow erosion of meaning. But here's the truth. The soul doesn't thrive in isolation. We are wired for connection. Not only to others but to purpose. Even something small, a chat with a neighbor, a shared memory with a grandchild, a familiar voice on the line, can be like light returning to a dim room. It stabilizes the mood. It lifts the fog. It reminds us that we still matter. Because emotional connection is not just comfort. It's nourishment for the heart. It's what tells the body, you are still needed. If you found yourself withdrawing, even just a little, pause and ask, what am I protecting? And what might I be losing in the process? The cost isn't just loneliness. It's energy, joy, and time. Number 2. Social isolation. The silence that hurts. One of the most powerful yet quiet predictors of early decline in older adults is a lack of meaningful human connection. When someone spends day after day alone, without shared meals, kind glances, or even a voice to say, "How are you?" it doesn't just affect their mood. The body feels that absence as a threat. Stress builds. Blood pressure rises. The immune system weakens. And small issues, like a cold or a bad fall, can quickly become dangerous. But beneath the biology lies something deeper, a quiet erosion of the spirit. We were never meant to walk this part of life alone. We are made to be mirrored, to be received, to be gently reminded that we still matter. That our stories are still worth telling. That someone still listens. George was 75. Widowed, quiet, kind. He ate alone, spoke to no one for days at a time. His neighbors said he was self-reliant. But behind closed doors, loneliness was his constant companion. When he caught a cold, he said nothing. By the time anyone knew, it had turned into pneumonia. It's not uncommon. And it's not a weakness. It's the human heart longing to be seen. But the beauty is, reconnection doesn't require crowds. It can begin with just one consistent relationship. A weekly coffee. A warm phone call. A friend who remembers your name and your favorite story. Because when we feel connected, not just socially but soulfully, our body relaxes. Our mind softens. Life returns to our eyes. You're choosing life. Quietly. Bravely. Meaningfully. If this message speaks to you, drop a #2 in the comments. I'd love to know you're here. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the bell so you'll never miss the next video made just for you. Every bit of support helps us keep creating thoughtful, caring content to help you live well and live fully. Number 3, emotional withdrawal, when the light begins to dim. There's a kind of silence that goes deeper than words. It's not just quiet. It's a turning away from connection, from engagement, from life itself. We're not talking about introversion or the love of solitude. Many people find peace in quiet spaces, but emotional withdrawal is different. It's when the heart slowly pulls back. When someone stops initiating conversations, skips gatherings, or no longer shows interest in the things that once brought them joy. And little by little, something shifts. The soul becomes less stirred. The mind less curious. The world feels further away. Over time, this detachment forms a quiet loop. Less engagement leads to more isolation, which feeds a sense of emptiness. And the body hears that. Stress hormones rise. Immune function drops. And without emotional stimulation, the mind begins to retreat, gently but unmistakably. Take Roy, 72. After losing his wife, he stopped calling his children. He missed holidays, stayed home, and spoke less each month. By the time he saw a doctor, there was no single illness, just a slow, quiet surrender. Physically, he could have lived longer. But emotionally, he had begun to let go. Now contrast that with Frank, 80, also a widower. But he still texts his grandchildren, runs a small book club, and shares his woodworking wisdom with the young folks next door. His life isn't always easy, but it's emotionally alive. That spark, that engagement, isn't just uplifting. It's protective. Because emotional vitality isn't about always being cheerful. It's about staying connected, still caring, still being moved. When we allow that connection to fade, we begin turning down life's dimmer switch. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly, until one day there's no reason left to stay awake. And yet, it doesn't take much to turn that switch back up. A shared story, a purpose, a person. Even a small effort to stay emotionally present can keep the light glowing and the heart beating for reasons that matter. Number 4, lack of movement, when stillness becomes a silent thief. There's a quiet danger that hides in plain sight, and it looks a lot like rest. When a senior spends most of the day sitting, not from illness but from habit, something subtle begins to shift. The muscles soften. The joints grow stiff. Circulation slows. And gradually, the very body we rely on to carry us through life begins to lose its strength to do so. Many call it taking it easy. But inside, the body often hears something else. Surrender. And after 70, that message carries weight. In fact, doctors now say that prolonged inactivity can shorten life faster than many chronic diseases. Not through sudden collapse, but through slow, quiet decline. Martha, 75, once walked each morning. But after a week of feeling tired, she paused her routine and never quite returned to it. Within months, standing to cook felt overwhelming. Her health hadn't failed her. Her stillness had. But here's the grace. Movement doesn't need to be grand. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. A few stretches after breakfast. A slow walk to the mailbox. Arm circles during your favorite show. Even shifting in your chair and standing up more often tells your body, I'm still here. I still need you. Stay strong with me. Because movement is more than medicine. It's a declaration of life. Every small step you take is a way of telling your bones, your heart, and your spirit, we're not done yet. If this message resonates with you, let me know by commenting #4 below. And if you haven't already, subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss another video crafted to support your journey. Your presence here truly matters and helps us keep creating content that lifts, informs, and honors this beautiful stage of life. Number 5, irregular sleep patterns, when rest stops healing. As we grow older, one of the most underestimated risks to our well-being is not just lack of sleep, but irregular sleep. This isn't about the occasional restless night. It's the chronic, quiet chaos, going to bed at different times each night, falling asleep with the TV still on, waking often, or relying on long naps to get through the day. After 70, our internal clock becomes far more delicate. Unlike in our youth, the body no longer shrugs off these disruptions. Instead, it starts to drift, losing rhythm, losing balance. And when that rhythm breaks, so does more than just sleep. Metabolism suffers. Focus fades. Mood swings become harder to manage. Even the heart becomes more vulnerable, especially in the early hours of morning when irregular sleep has been shown to increase cardiovascular risk. Take Ruth, 73. She stayed up watching TV until 2 or 3 a.m., napped late, and drank coffee to stay awake. Over time, her energy became unpredictable. Her blood pressure fluctuated. Her memory dulled. But when she committed to a regular bedtime, turned off screens earlier, and honored a calming evening routine, her mornings grew brighter. Her health found its footing again. Because good sleep at this stage of life isn't a luxury. It's a form of healing. It's when the body repairs, when the mind resets, when the heart steadies. So if your sleep feels off, fragmented, unpredictable, chaotic, consider this your body gently raising a red flag. Not to scare you, but to invite you home, to rest, to restore, to begin again. Number 6, loss of purpose. When life feels like it's just passing by, there's a quiet kind of emptiness that can settle in with age. Not always sadness, not even loneliness, just the slow fading of a reason why. Many seniors who experience early decline share one common thread. They've stopped feeling needed. No more deadlines. No more small responsibilities. No one asking for advice. No one depending on them in a meaningful way. Life becomes a series of empty days. Still, but not full. This loss of purpose doesn't always shout. It whispers. Why get up early? Who would notice if I didn't show up? Does it even matter? And over time, those whispers wear down the will to stay strong. The body listens. Energy drops. Memory dulls. Even the immune system can weaken when the soul feels like it's drifting. But the beautiful truth? Purpose can be reignited at any age. It doesn't have to be grand. It might be caring for a houseplant, helping a neighbor with groceries, sharing stories with younger generations, writing letters, volunteering once a week. Even greeting someone with warmth at the local cafe can become a quiet act of meaning. Purpose isn't about being busy. It's about feeling like your presence still matters. That you're not just passing time, you're still part of life. Because the heart, at any age, needs a reason to beat with meaning. And when it has one, even a small one, the entire system responds with life. Final thoughts. Small shifts, lasting life. When we think about living a long and meaningful life, our minds often go straight to diet, exercise, or medication. And while those things certainly matter, what quietly matters more are the patterns we live by. Not loud events, but daily rhythms. Not dramatic change, but small, intentional shifts. How we move, how we connect, how we rest, and most of all, how we stay open to life. The 6 signs we explored today don't always shout. But if we listen closely, they speak to the deeper question. Am I still showing up for this life with presence, with purpose, with care? If you recognized one, or even more, of these signs in yourself, don't worry. That's not failure. That's awareness. And awareness is a doorway. One that leads to healing, to reconnection, and to hope. Maybe today is the day you take that short walk. Or finally call someone you miss. Maybe you decide to go to bed just a bit earlier, or say yes to that invitation you almost turned down. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be genuine. Because aging well isn't about counting years. It's about staying rooted in what makes you feel alive. Your purpose. Your people. Your peace. Every day is another chance to keep that light inside you burning, steady, quiet, and strong. We'd love to hear from you. What's one small insight or action you're taking from this video? Leave a comment below. We read every one, and your words mean more than you know. If this video gave you something to think about, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, uplifting content for you and for others walking this same path. Thank you for being here. And until next time, take good, gentle care of yourself. You matter.